Okay, today we are looking at measures of central tendency. We have three measures of central tendency that we are looking at for sets of data, sets of numbers. They are mean, median, and mode. Mean is the average of your numbers. So you add up your numbers, you find the sum of your terms, and then you divide it by the number of terms. So add them all up, divide by how many there are. Median is your middle number. So you list the data from least to greatest, and then you find the middle number. And then mode is the number that occurs the most often. There's an S in parentheses because sometimes you'll have a tie. If you have a tie, just list them both. Sometimes you will also have no mode. If every number only shows up one time, you don't have a mode. And then the last thing here is actually a measure of spread, which is range. And that is the difference between the highest and lowest number. So you just do highest minus lowest. So we are going to be looking at sets of data today. This should be all stuff that we've seen since elementary school, but it's something that we want to cover, and it's something that's applicable to our lives. So the first problem we have here is goals scored in a hockey game. This is just made up data, to be quite honest. First thing that we are going to do anytime we get a set of data is we are going to put it in order. As I put my data in order, I like to list it and cross off to make sure that I use all of my numbers. Thank you. There's a note sheet on your desk already. So I've got 4 is my lowest number. So I'm going to write that down. I'm going to cross that off. As I'm writing down numbers, I like to put commas between them. And I like to write neatly, because if I write neatly, it's going to be easier to find that middle number. It's going to be easier to add them up. Okay, then I have a whole bunch of 5s. So I've got 5, 5, 5, 5. So I'm going to list that down 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I've got a 6. And then it looks like I have 4 7s. 7, 7, 7, 7. 7, 7, 7, 7. And a 10. So I like to list out all my numbers, cross them off as I go, because sometimes you'll realize at the end you missed one, and then you can squeeze it in wherever it needs to go. Another thing that I like to do to check myself, just so I don't waste time if I missed a number or have an extra number, is I like to real quick before I add them all up, I like to count how many there were in my original list and count how many there were in this list. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Make sure I still have the same number of numbers. Okay, any questions right now? All right, so then the next thing that you're going to do, and the main reason why you guys need calculators, is you need to add all of those up. So take all 11 of those numbers, take your time, and add them all up. Do not try to do it in your iPhone calculator, because you will not be able to see the numbers you've typed, and you can't remember how many 7s you've put in. Okay. What did you guys get as your total?
68.
68? Okay.
68.
Good. Okay, so that is the sum of your terms is 68. You can go ahead and write that down here. And then number of terms, we already counted them up a second ago. You have 11 terms in this problem. Okay, from here, we are now going to go through, find our mean, our median, our mode, and our range. So for mean, we take that total, that's 68, we're going to divide it by 11. So do 68 divided by 11 in your calculator. 68 divided by 11. You're going to get a decimal. We are going to round to 2 numbers after the decimal place. So we're going to take the 6.1, and then we have to decide whether the 8 rounds up or stays the same. The number after it's a 1. So if that third number is 5 or more, it rounds up. If that third number is 4 or less, it stays the same. So this is going to be 6.18. Grab a note sheet from there. Okay, then our median. For our median, we are finding the middle number. This is when listing your numbers in order and writing neatly is going to come in handy. So you're going to count from the outsides. So the 4 and the 10, 5 and 7, 5 and 7, 5 and 7, 5 and 7. You're going to find the very middle number. If it is a number right in the middle, that's your median. So in this one, we have a median of 6. And you can double check. I've got 5 on each side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's how I know it's in the middle. It's because I have the same number on each side. Okay. Next up, we have mode. Mode is the number we see the most often. So I remember MO for mode is most often. Our mode is 5 and also 7. So we just put those both down. You put a comma between them because we have 2 that have tied for the most often. Okay. And then the range is the highest number minus the lowest number. So this one's 10 minus 4. And that gives us 6. Highest minus lowest is your range. Hey, any questions right now about that first problem? Right, measures of center, they're not difficult. It's just a matter of remembering which one's which and taking your time and not losing numbers while you do it. We've got one more. This next one is a set of test scores. I hope these test scores are not out of 100 because they're not too hot if they're out of 100. But they could be out of like 60 maybe. Because I think the highest one's 57. Yeah. So go ahead and list those from least to greatest. The lowest one I see is 39. Let me know if I miss anything. And then I see 41 and 43. I see 47, 48. And then 51. 2 52s. 52, 52. 53 and 57. I like to double check by counting my terms to make sure I have all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, go ahead and add those up, please. Okay. What did we get as our total? 483. That's what I got. Just looking over here at a copy of it I did yesterday. Okay, awesome. And we have 10 terms. We already counted those up. Or, well, I already counted those up. Anytime we are dividing by 10, we can just scoot the decimal place over one spot. So 483 divided by 10 is 48.3. So let's write down 483 divided by 10 so we know how we got that. 48.3. If you want to see that in a calculator, 483 divided by 10, 48.3. If you get an answer for your mean and it's not in between the lowest and highest number and kind of towards the middle, your mean should be similar towards the middle of your data. Okay, for median on this one, pay attention. We need to count from the outside. So I'm going to use 2 pens here. So 39 and 57 are even. 41 and 53 are even. 43 and 52 are even. 47 and 52 are even. 48 and 51 are even. That means the median of my data is right here. So if I have an even number of data points and I split them in half, there's not going to be one in the middle. It's going to be in between those 2 data points. So how you find that median is you add those 2 numbers together and you divide it in half. So just these 2 numbers, just the 48 and 51. So I'm going to do 48 plus 51, and I'm going to divide that by 2. I put that 48 plus 51 in parentheses because you have to do that first. So 48 plus 51, hit enter, and then divide by 2. And the number you should get should be halfway in between 48 and 51. So it's 49.5. Okay. Mode. Which number do we see the most often? 52. It's the only one we see more than once. And then range is highest minus lowest. So the highest number is 57 minus the lowest number is 39. 57 minus 39 is 18. Tell me why those seem further apart than 18. Whatever. 57 minus 39 is 18. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop this recording so you can start uploading.